Today, I've found a really great Sith story from Star Wars canon. The story comes from the book Dark Legends by George Mann, an anthology of short stories, and is titled A Life Immortal. I absolutely love this story, and it's actually my favourite short story I've read in canon so far. I'd definitely recommend buying the book and reading it for yourself. Anyway, I'm very excited to share it with you, so let's get into it. The story begins by introducing us to its protagonist, Darth Noctyss. Darth Noctyss was an ancient Sith Lord who was extremely powerful, conquering many worlds. Her capacity for channeling the dark side seems limitless, and it was said that she might have conquered the entire galaxy. However, she desired immortality above all else, which stood in the way of this potential. What use, she claimed, was a kingdom if one day she would no longer remain to shape it? What use all that power if it might not stave off the inevitable, encroaching degradations of age? Empires could wait, for when she achieved her true purpose, immortality, then would she have all the time she wished to conquer and reforge the galaxy in her image. She didn't take on a Padawan, instead studying past civilizations in attempt of learning how to cheat death. She spent many years in research, extending her physical form along the way until she reached the autumn of her life. Eventually, on Jaguanda, she finally found something: the path to Exegol. There she found a long-deserted, crumbling citadel filled with towering statuary and began exploring. After months, Noctyss found a creature living here. The creature looked to be the remnants of what had once been a man. It was deformed with a twisted spine that caused it to hunch over so that its left shoulder dipped almost to its knees. Its flesh was pale, translucent and shriveled, and stringy hair fell in strands down the side of its face. It only wore rags. Can I just add that I love the description of the creature that George Mann gives here? It really conveys the grim existence of the beast, and it's also quite sad. Noctyss went to kill the beast, but held back, thinking that it may be useful towards her goal. The creature called her mistress, and Noctyss decided to use it as a slave. The creature somehow instinctively knew what Noctyss wanted, and soon led her through a system of labyrinthine carved chambers to a laboratory. The lab was a mess, clearly abandoned. Noctyss looked around and found some pages from an old book,
the sacred Sith text,
and realized that someone had been here before her, also pursuing immortality. The creature giggled, and so did Noctyss. She realized that the creature must have been a servant to this past Sith that had used the laboratory, and she made it clean the place. She spent much time in this lab, dedicating herself solely to research, even going without eating, and eventually pieced together the ritual she must do from the old works of her predecessor, Darth Sangis. The ritual required 3 days of incantations and a willing sacrifice to offer up their life force. Noctyss decided that the creature would serve well in this role. She then spent 3 days conducting the ritual until the time came for the sacrifice. The creature stood before Noctyss and exposed its chest, somehow knowing and ready for her to kill it. The beast grinned. Noctyss stabbed it through the heart. The chamber erupted in sparking energy, bursting from the creature's chest and into Noctyss. She felt the life entering her body and laughed with victory. Her body started to change into its new form. But the joy ceased. Noctyss screamed in agony as her body jerked and spasmed as it deformed. Her spine twisted, her flesh pulled back against her bones, shriveling and wrinkling. Her hands contorted and her ribs contracted. Then darkness. I love this bit here. Once again, George Mann nails the description, and it really is a horrifying transformation. A while later, Noctyss awoke. She found a looking glass to see her reflection, and soon destroyed it. She realized what had happened. the creature had known all along. The creature was Darth Noctyss. Her predecessor had tricked her into his own twisted fate, taking his place. Noctyss was forced to never die, but to also never truly live. And that's the end of this story. I just love this story. It's such a simple concept, but executed so well, really evoking the phrase that you must be careful what you wish for. The way it takes the seemingly amazing gift of immortality and twists it into a horrifying curse is so good, and I would definitely recommend that you check out the story if you enjoyed this summary. I would like to give credit to author George Mann, who I think did a brilliant job here, and to Grant Griffin, who was the illustrator for the art shown in the book. Anyway, that's all for now. Please feel free to let me know what you thought of the story in the comments, and we hope to see you later at Volt Holocron.